Happy Manga Monday! So I had a different video planned for this Monday. However, I'm still recovering from the injury that I caused to myself. That is either like the worst stiff neck ever, or a pinched nerve, or something that just like seized up my whole neck. It's better now for sure, but yeah, I haven't had the energy for part of the week, and now I haven't had the time for the rest of the week. So I've just decided to pivot and do a really easy for me to get through and easy for me to edit video. So I hope you don't mind, but we are revisiting the bookshelves this week already. You did seem to really enjoy it the first time I did it, just going through my bookshelves and essentially putting myself on blast of what series I actually have read on my shelves. So yeah, if you haven't checked out part 1, go check that video out either before this one or after. And that leads us to these shelves right here. So I figured since I did romance and romance fantasy series last time, I would tackle more specifically shonen and some more action adventure heavy series this time. So yeah, let's just jump right in, shall we? So first and foremost, we have this lengthy series here, Haikyuu. It is complete at 45 volumes. You know, it's a long one. And no, I have not actually read all of it. I mainly actually watched the anime. I've watched to season 4. I think it was for part 1. I don't know. It was before the movie. And then I haven't watched since then. I wasn't really a fan of the shift to the MAPPA studio. I wasn't really a fan of how they animated my boys. And yeah, I did start reading the manga actually. Well, technically I started it twice. I once unhauled volume 1 until I actually sat down and watched the anime, and then I rebought it because I was like, oh damn, I actually like this. So yeah, that's one unhaul regret I made. But yeah, obviously you might be able to tell my favorite boy here is Tsuki, or Tsukishima. He's just so cute and so ratty and sarcastic, and I love his attitude. It's great. He's great. But I have some other faves as well. Pretty much everyone I got a Nendo for I love. This is just a fun, action-packed, comedic, heavy shonen around some boys playing volleyball. And it sounds really boring, and I'm not much of a sports manga person, but this one just got my heart. Next up, we have Genkaku Picasso. So this one is just a short series, only 3 volumes long, and I absolutely adore it. It is also by Usamaru Furuya, who did the No Longer Human adaptation that I personally really think is great. Anyway, it's a great deep dive into like the psyche of people, and like it's more introspective than a lot of shonen usually is. So I really like it. I really think it's unique, but I get that it might not be a series for everyone. But yes, I did read it completely. I know that's only 3 volumes, so it's not saying much. Next up, we have Astra, Lost in Space. So this is only 5 volumes long, and I have completely read all of it. I think it's really good. These kids end up getting stranded in space and trying to figure out how to get home, and they realize that someone in their group actually is responsible for having stranded them. Next up, we have one of my favorites, and that is Gimmick. So this is complete in 9 volumes, and Gimmick is amazing. It's one of my favorite shonen, and I literally think it's so slept on, but it is older, so I think it's harder to get your hands on now. It's interesting, it has mystery components, it has a lot of interesting and fun characters, and it all has to do with practical special effects. So I really love it and recommend it. And obviously I have read all of it. So yay! And next up, we're gonna continue that streak with Demon Slayer, complete at 23 volumes, and I have read all the volumes. I actually ended up reading it all online because it was taking too long for it to be published, and I kept getting internet spoiled. I got spoiled by about a specific character death, and so I was like, you know what, F it, I'm just gonna read this whole thing online. So I did that, and then I collected all the volumes. I think it's a really solid shonen series about demons and slaying them. You know, so hence the title. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. And nothing super special, but it's good times with good characters overall. Then we have Platinum End. This one is complete in 14 volumes and has a really out there concept. It's dealing with angels and God, and these angels select humans as their participants to essentially become the next god. It becomes a lot more philosophical and thought-provoking as it goes on. I don't know, I found this one really interesting, and although I didn't really care for any character, which usually means I'll hate this series, for some reason the plot just got me. Like, I was really interested to know how it would all play out, and it played out in a really interesting way, like very different shonen in my opinion, and I really liked it. And yes, I read all 14 volumes. I'm doing so good. We should stop there because because it's not good after that. Next up, we have The Promised Neverland. And although I got so hyped on this one after watching the first season of the anime and super duper falling in love with it, and its crazy, more horror-esque plotline of these orphans being harvested for unknown purposes by these monsters, it's so interesting. I collected all the manga, and then I haven't actually read it. I have no excuse, really. Anyway, we'll move on to the second shelf that we're tackling today. And up top here, we have Tagami Bachi Letter B. I thought the covers were really appealing, and the story was very strange and different fantasy world setting, kind of post-apocalyptic vibes. I read maybe to volume 5 or 6, but I never finished it. I actually almost unhauled it and listed it for sale, but nobody bought it, so then I just kind of ended up keeping it. But I don't know how I feel about it. It wasn't gripping me, but it wasn't bad either. I don't know, I should read it, but I haven't yet. Then we have only 1 through 5 of Yu Yu Hakusho, so essentially this is not complete. It's kind of out of print at the moment, or I don't know if they are reprinting it at all. Anyway, the volumes aren't super easy to find of Yu Yu Hakusho. I got these 5 when my library discarded them, so obviously I picked them up. I have read the first volume. I wasn't immediately in love with it. I want to give it a chance because it's Hunter x Hunter's mangaka, so I mean, I like Hunter x Hunter. I'll probably like this one, but I don't know, it just didn't grab me as much as Hunter x Hunter did in the beginning, though I did start with the anime for Hunter x Hunter, so maybe I should just watch this one. I don't know. What do you think? Have you watched Yu Yu Hakusho or read it? Let me know in the comments. And then we have Siren. This is complete at 16 volumes. And I did complete Siren. I actually read this all online again a long time ago. And then I collected all the manga because I really, really liked it. I don't want to spoil anything because talking about it too much would be spoilers, but yeah. It's also kind of harder to find the volumes, I think, or not as in print, but I'm not 100% sure. And then we have Black Cat. So Black Cat is complete at 20 volumes, and I got this amazing, this is probably the best used manga that I've ever bought off eBay. The price was amazing, and the manga condition was fantastic. These manga are pristine, and I'm really lucky I found it for such a good price and in such good quality. However, I did try to start to read this one. I think I got 2 or 3 volumes deep in it, and it literally was not grabbing me. Anyway, we got this nice one-shot over here called Jacko, the Galactic Patrolman. So while I've never read Dragon Ball, which is by the same mangaka, I got this one shot and it was so fun. It was like silly and interesting and just like a really easy read. I don't know, it was so random, but I liked it. Next up out front, we have Surf's Up Pikachu. This is like a very, very well-worn copy that I got from my library, and I just really like it because I did read this actual manga when it was in the library, like checked it out as a kid. It's just got some nostalgia for me. It has Misty in it, which I really like. So it's interesting, but it's not very long. So it's just like a little snapshot of Pokemon, the manga. Moving on, we got The Law of Ueki. So this one's complete at 16 volumes. This one hurts to confess that I've never actually finished reading it. I don't know where I read to be honest with you. However, I did watch all 54 episodes of the anime, which I think covers the whole manga. I really, really like the anime. It's a very off-the-wall, comedy-heavy, tournament-style, who's going to get their wish granted type of series. It's very, very shonen. But I really just loved all the characters and their comedy and their bonds they form, and they're all so cute and charming. Next up is Zombie Loan. This one's complete in 13 volumes, and I believe I finished it. I don't remember. I'm like 90% sure I finished it, but I also feel like I might not have finished it. I really liked it, and I just kind of went bananas. It went all over the place, and I kind of lost. I lost the sauce in this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still like it, like I still have fond memories of it, but I definitely know I'm remembering the beginning half more than the ending. Like, we're talking middle to high school, like long time ago. Next up is a short 3-volume series, Psychic Power Nanaki. And no, I didn't read it. I got it for like $3 a volume, and yeah, that was a good deal. That's all I know about that one. And next we have Anne Freaks. This is 4-volume series. This one sounds so interesting and dark, and yet I have not read it yet. I'll just pull that bandage off right there. I have not read it. It's short. You'd think I could have just knocked it out in a weekend or so, but I just haven't read it. Then we have Are You Alice? This is 12 volumes long, and I actually managed to snag this in an eBay lot recently, and they were all discarded library books, but that's not usually a problem. However, it caused a lot of problems taking the spine labels off, which was really unfortunate, but the series is really hard to get your hands on. Like a couple of the volumes are really out of print, so at least I was able to get them all for a really steal of a deal. Talking about steals of deals, we have Spiral, The Bonds of Reasoning. This one I read online again after I watched the anime, so I went online and I read the rest of it, and then I, in my infinite wisdom, didn't actually buy the volumes. I don't know why I did this to myself. I mean, it might have been because I was a broke-ass kid. It might have been because I thought, oh, I'll like outgrow manga and I won't have 4,000 volumes in my collection. But anyway, I did read the 15 volumes online. I did really, really get super involved in the story. The story is so mega weird. It's got mysteries. It's got like sci-fi concepts. It's very out there, and yet like the story doesn't feel that crazy, if that makes sense. I super love it. However, these books are in some of the worst condition. These people were monsters. They cracked the spine so freaking bad. Every time I look at these spines, they make me just wince in pain. Moving on, we have The Empty Empire, complete at 7 volumes. This is one I think I got earlier this year or last year. It's relatively new, and as such, I haven't read it yet. It doesn't mean necessarily that I wouldn't have read it yet. But yeah, I collected it off a couple lots on eBay. They all came in really good condition. And I just really was like struck by the covers, to be honest with you. So I don't really know a lot about it, but maybe someday I'll read it. Next up we have Wild Adapter. This is complete in 6 volumes. And I also got this one off of Right Stuff for really cheap for volumes. And no, I haven't read it yet. I think it's kind of shonen ai, and I've kind of put the shonen ai on the bottom here. So starting with Wild Adapter and then continuing on with The Betrayal Knows My Name. So I had the first volume of The Betrayal Knows My Name for forever, and I was like, I gotta read it to collect the rest of it. And then I realized it's by Yen Press, and Yen Press loves to just make things out of print on me. Just loves it, just like with Spiral. So I was like, fuck it. I'm not gonna read it. I'm just gonna collect the rest of it. And I did do that. And I have still not read it yet. I just really like the art and I like the idea of it. So I don't love the idea that it feels incomplete based on other people's Amazon reviews, but it is what it is. I still wanted to collect it all, so I did. And then we have The Day of Revolution 2-volume series that is like a prelude to the next series, Princess Princess, which is complete with 5 volumes, and then there's Princess Princess Plus, like a little side story spin-off sequel type thing. So yeah, after reading all 5 volumes of Princess Princess Plus, I also read that one, I realized it was referencing this other series by the mangaka, The Day of Revolution, so I wanted to get that one to read it, to see about the characters that it alluded to. And yet, here we are, having owned it for at least a couple months now and not having read it yet. So yeah, there's that. Then last but not least, we have Ju-Ose. This is a 3-volume omnibus series. I wasn't really satisfied with the ending, but this was at a point in my life where I wasn't unhauling manga because I didn't have bloody 4,000 volumes and growing on my shelves. And now years and years and years have passed and I go, okay, but like was it disappointing in a bad way and I should have unhauled it? Or is it disappointing in a way of it didn't go the way I wanted to or thought it would go, but it was still a well done series? I don't remember enough now, and so I'm just stuck with it on my shelf until I reread the damn thing and decide if I want to keep it or not. But I remember really loving the beginning, and that's also why I want to give it a chance and reread it. And yeah, there we go, another 2 shelves down, mostly complete shonen, except for the Yu Yu Hakusho that I just kind of threw on that shelf. Oh yeah, sorry about kind of just doing another one of these videos, but it's easy to just go through the manga and just be like, say a little blurb and move on and show you a little bit about them. And I know you enjoyed it last time, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I'll be feeling better next week and I can talk about some more manga that I had wanted to do originally and get back on track. But yeah, so until then, bye!